What's up, everybody? My name is Cole Stevens, and you are watching Free Game Fridays, where we spend free game all day, giving you the future right now. Today, we have an amazing show. We got Fake Trap, a wonderful artist in the Twin Cities, and we have
Summer from Ozone Creations.
beautiful. I am your host, Cole Stevens, and
Natasha Loya. Thank you for tuning in today.
woo! What's up, everybody? We're back with Free Game Fridays, and I am joined today by FakeTrapUSA on Instagram. Go ahead, give them a follow. But yeah, bro, just real quick, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Fake Trap. My actual name is Tyler. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Chicago. I'm an artist and a designer. I've been designing for I've been doing my brand for about 5 years now, but I mean, I've been making art and stuff from as long as I can remember, just drawing in class, not paying attention, I don't know, throwing people notes and stuff like that. I feel like it's always kind of been my thing.
Not paying attention, but it looks like it paid off though, because this is sick.
Oh, yeah.
This is sick, and we're sitting right under some of your amazing work right now too, and I just love it, bro. I love your art. I've just kind of seen you around the cities at different shows and whatnot, and Talia hooked us up, and so I'm glad to be knowing you. But tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of just what got you into this,
Well, I grew up in Chicago on the South Side, which is kind of how I developed my brand ethos. I had a very interesting coming up story just because my parents are both very artistically inclined, so I feel like I was exposed to a lot of things that I don't know, my peers and friends weren't necessarily exposed to. So I was always interested in the arts. I was always going to art shows. I've always enjoyed fashion and ballet and stuff, and I feel like all those things have kind of blended together and kind of turned into what I've made in a type of way. I'm a huge fan of anime and cartoons. As a kid, I had every action figure that you could imagine, and I just remember I always wanted there to be a character that was mine, or I felt represented me, just because growing up, just as a black person, I feel like there weren't, at least then, I was born in '99, in the early 2000s, there weren't really that many black heroes or black characters on
no
TV.
representation.
Yeah. So it's I really just wanted to kind of find that. And I remember I was maybe 14 or 15, and that's when I first really got into the Boondocks. And I remember I would watch, I would see all the characters, and I was like, man, I could draw that shit. You know what I mean? So I would just practice drawing Riley or Sonic or I don't know, just these characters that I feel inspired me. And I feel over time it kind of just spitballed into this larger thing that it's kind of become today.
That's dope, dude. And I love that show. That was gonna kind of segue me to the next question too, about what are some of those influences you had?
One of my favorite artists, I feel of all time, is probably Hebrew Brantley. He's another artist from Chicago. He has a lot of very large murals and stuff. He has his own black superhero and kind of this Marvel mythos that he kind of goes with his character. So I just remember being my early high school days, I was absolutely obsessed with his work, and that was kind of one of the people who really showed me that man, someone from here really can make it happen. Because I feel at least as an artist, one of the biggest things for me is just inspiring others and being inspired. It's really important to kind of observe those around you and just appreciate the people who aren't these big stars, these big glorified people, but the people who are making it happen in your local area. Because it's so much harder. When you have a big budget or you have a bunch of people backing you, you can make a lot of things happen.
Of course.
Versus you just one day decide, hey, I want to be an artist, hey, I want to be a musician, or whatever it is. It's that's so, that's so powerful, and I feel that's worth appreciating. And that's why so many artists, their best, at least musically and artistically, I feel as well, their best stuff is usually their early stuff, or their first album.
It's in the struggle.
Whatever it is, exactly.
There's a great saying, it's limitations breed creativity.
Literally.
And the struggle brings some of the best art.
Exactly, because you really want it in a different level, and I don't know. I'm just really grateful to still kind of be in this space. I just graduated from college, so
we're at MCAD, right?
I graduated from MCAD
okay,
last year, so I'm finally out the door.
Let's go.
I feel I don't know, another big thing that I wanted to mention, I feel there's a whole kind of idea that people have around art school, and I feel the biggest thing is as an artist, or really as a professional individual in any creative field, I feel school isn't really necessary per se. But the biggest thing that school can bring you is resources and opportunities. Because, say, for example, I'm not from the Twin Cities. You know what I mean? But a friend of mine, Philly, back in the day, he went to Columbia, and he was a student there when I was in high school. And me and him met up, and I don't know, that's literally how all this happened. I just met this one dude from Minnesota.
Okay.
Me and him had a good vibe, and I was I got decent scholarships come out here, so I was I'll go check it out. So I feel I don't know, school, it puts you in the space with the people you want to be in, or the people you want to be
Like-minded
with.
individuals.
You know what I mean?
They
Like-minded
came there for
individuals.
the same reason.
Exactly, and that was the biggest thing for me coming from the South Side, where like I had creative friends, or I had things that were like movers and shakers and making it happen, but like just having like a whole community of artists, I feel like it's something that, especially in the Twin Cities, is like huge. Like
Yeah.
I've never been to another city where it's like really like that, where it's like you see this guy or girl, you know what I mean, and you're like, that shit's rad, and like you literally would just meet them at the bar.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll just meet them at the party. It's like, these are things that we should really appreciate, because it's like that's so rare. You know what I mean? There's like, I feel like people here are also a lot more open. There's not really the whole Hollywood act, because it's the Midwest and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know, just sharing a creative space, man.
And I've always loved the Twin Cities because it's kind of right there in the middle. It's not Los Angeles, it's not Hollywood, it's not super big, but we're not in the middle of nowhere. There's crazy culture here. There's crazy history here, with music and with artists as well. I mean, you look at the Sculpture Gardens, right?
Literally.
In Loring Park. You look at Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Prince. There's a lot of history and culture here, and yeah, man, we're glad to have you from Chicago. One of the things I've always thought about when I see your art is like, I really wish there was a cartoon about this. Like, if it was just animated.
One day, man.
Yeah.
One day.
Okay, bet. Well, you don't have to let us know. We can, put something up. But so another question I got for you is like, obviously this is not easy. Like, it is not easy making a living as an artist and trying to kind of get past the noise of everything, right? So, what are some of the biggest struggles you've overcome doing this?
My God. I feel like the biggest was I came up with the concept and like the name for my brand and everything when I was in high school. But going to MCAD really gave me the resources to be able to do photo shoots, screen printing, make stickers. Like it gave me the ability to make things to the level that I always wanted to make them to. Before it was just like concepts in my sketchbook. So I feel like the biggest struggle for me was just priority, because like I didn't care about anything, bro. Like I would eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for like weeks on end, because I was spending all of my money just getting stuff made, just trying to make stuff happen. So I mean, I feel like the biggest struggle for me has always been just like, I don't know, as an independent artist, it's like it's all risk. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's like I want to get these hoodies made or whatever. This $600 or $700 or whatever it might be. It's like I might be able to double this, but people might see this and it might not be hot.
Flop.
People might not think it's cool, and then you're down in the hole and you're stuck with this product. So I feel like the biggest thing just as an artist is like you have to really, really believe in what you're making, and you have to really make sure that it represents like who you are as a person. Because like at least for me, I can't market something that I don't believe in. You know what I'm saying? I can feel it when I make something. Like for example, when I made these pillows, I was obsessed with them. I have so many of these at my house.
And you kind of got to be obsessed.
Literally, if you're not, then it's like not it. It's like, I don't know. I would go, if it came down to it, I would go door to door and I would talk all day about these pillows, because I love this, you know what I mean? Versus I made other stuff where it's like, I'm going to just let that sit on the back burner, because I feel like, I don't know. Also, you can't really force it. When you force it, I don't know. You just
and people can tell. People can tell if you force it, and they can tell if you fake it.
Exactly.
And if you force it or you fake it, people aren't gonna feel it. And if you ain't even feeling it, you're not gonna be able to go through the pain of like going and dropping that $700 on actually getting the shirts printed, going out and trying to find the people who are gonna buy them, going out and representing your brand like that. Yeah, you really got to be dedicated.
So I feel like that's a struggle that I went through, was just kind of like the finance part of it. But I guess my advice for anyone else who wants to start their own brand is like, before anything, have 2 pools. You know what I mean? Have the money that you're going to live off of and do your thing. And then also always make sure you keep a little account or keep a little stock. You know what I mean? Just to be able to replenish your business. Because you never know. You might be on your last dollar here. And that's happened to me so many times when I was going through school. I'm on my last dollar. You know what I mean? And then someone buys 2 or 3 T-shirts, and then that can get me through the next couple of days. You know what I mean? So just being smart with your money, being strategic, and making sure that, like, if you're going to do this, you have to also be consistent, because, like, that's really how you build, a brand, how you build an identity. Even if you're not making, like, the biggest and the baddest product with the best quality or whatever it is, if you're doing a ton of shows, if you're talking about your work all the time, if you're always making sure you put your money into it, it really will pay off. Like, I've seen it happen so many times, so I feel like, I don't know, at this point, you really can't tell me any different. Like, they really try to make it seem like, being an artist is gonna be a struggle, and I mean it is sometimes, and it can be that way. But I feel like plan a step ahead, and it's it's not so difficult. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. And if you really feel it, yeah, it'll take you there. So the pillows are dope. I actually have some of your hoodies too. I love your stuff. We got one right here. Show the people.
Yeah.
Show the people. But how much are these pillows, man? Where can I get one? Cause these are raw.
FakeTrapUSA.com. They retail for $60. They're vinyl
that
leather.
peep game.
On the front.
Yeah, no, this is nice. This is like this quality material, baby. You
Yeah,
feel
pretty
me?
Nice, some little decorative pillows. My cats love them. You know what I mean? I'm allergic to cats, but they're my roommates.
Yeah.
The cats do really like them. But
That's dope. That's dope. Well, dude, absolutely love the work. I love the wisdom that you dropped for us today too. Keep them 2 pools of money, yo. Gotta separate your business from just like what you need to
Lifestyle,
eat, man. So that's super important. But yeah, let us know anything else like what we can expect from you, shows or anything that's going on, and then your social media. Just shout yourself out, bro.
I was gonna say, if you want to follow me on social media, it's FakeTrapUSA.com. That's where I post. I post art. I do photo shoots. I post my drawings and stuff sometimes. Sometimes I just post random rants and thoughts. Like I just kind of like doing that. What to expect from me next? I have a collection actually coming out in the next month or two. Working on it right now. I'm super excited. I feel like the biggest thing for me post school is like being able to really put my 100% into this, because like I've loved and cultivated it for so long, but I was only really able to do it to a certain extent because of school and other responsibilities. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just coming from a good place. So like expect more art, expect more clothes. You know what I mean? And I hope to see you all out there doing your thing.
I'm excited. All right, bro. Appreciate you. That was amazing, man. Thank you, Fake Trap USA. Go ahead, go check them out on Instagram. Go buy a hoodie. I had to get myself one. I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the show because it's lit. You feel me? Fake Trap USA. All right, man. So yeah, after that, a lot of great advice for artists coming up. We got another amazing artist.
SumerTimeTV from Ozone Creations. You may have seen them at some of our shows before, and she is also here sharing her single "Addicted."
Let's get into it.
Yeah, yeah. The whole world's always looking for more, and I got more to give you, so maybe we can take it slow. Did you hear what I said? You need a break for yourself, go take a second. My love is dangerous, and y'all seem to love that. I'm surprised you can all still function. Can't keep them away, they just keep up. You're tripping off my touch, so you're addicted to my love. I know I'm like a drug. Oh, oh, oh. Got the whole world wanting more, 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 more. My heart is like a drug. I know you're feeling stuck. Oh, oh, oh. Got the whole world wanting more, more, more. They're addicted to me. Oh, I'm so addicted. They're addicted to me, yeah. Oh, I'm so addicted. Running through your veins, it's not a doubt you might lose yourself, maybe lose your mind. I know I can drive you insane, so you better just play it smart, cause I don't play games. You're on a high, let it ride, I won't say no. You treat me right, I give you life, that's how it goes. Don't even have to show. Stripping off my touch, so you're addicted to my love. I know I can just not. Oh, got the whole world wanting more, more, more. My heart is like a drug. I know you're feeling stuck. Oh, oh, oh. Got the whole world wanting more, more, more. They're addicted to me, yeah. Oh, I'm so addicted. They're addicted to me, yeah. Oh, I'm so addicted.
Hi, I'm Summer,
And you're watching Free Game Fridays, Summertime TV at Instagram, whatever else you want to find me on, and TikTok, because I have a good time.
Welcome back, everyone. I am here with Summer, and we're going to get started. So, hi, Summer. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
Of course, of course. You know, we love to have your energy around us. You're such a hit all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gotta be.
You know. Okay, so, first things first. Who is Summer?
Summer is a 6 foot tall black woman that lives in Minnesota, Twin Cities to be preferred because she's moved around a lot. I make all types of music. I don't discriminate, and she's just a good time. If I'm talking myself in third person, I'm a good time no matter what I do. One thing I do love to do is watch movies. That's my favorite thing, and I'm in Ozone Creations, so it's always a party with my guys. We're always having a good time and just living. That's who Summer is.
Dope. And for those of them who don't know, who is Ozone?
Ozone Creations is our Afrocentric collective that we have in Minnesota and the Twin Cities. They're all from a different part of Africa and Black Americans, and we all like to share our love for music and film and cooking, because I like to bake. So, yeah, that's what we do.
What's your favorite thing to bake?
Oh, my God. Okay, so I'm into baking pretzels. Like, right now, just making dough and just flip. Oh,
Okay.
That's a good time.
Homemade pretzels do sound busting.
Yeah, if you want some, yeah, I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to take you up on
Okay,
that, for
okay.
sure. So you said you moved around a lot. Like, where are you from?
I am from North Minneapolis.
North
That's
Minneapolis?
where I was born. That was where I was raised. And then my mom didn't like the environment that I was growing up in. A lot of drugs around me and gangbanging. And she took me out to the suburbs. So I grew up in Apple Valley, Eagan area. Went to Performing Arts High School. So I went to St. Paul Conservatory for Performing Artists, where I found my love of singing. But I wasn't so much of a creative. I didn't really write music. So it was just singing for me, and I kind of wanted to move from that and still be in the entertainment industry. So I was going for talk show host, actually. And then, got my heart broken a few times, and now we're back to music. So that's pretty much the story.
So tell me about your origin of music.
Where it all started was I got my heart broken by this one boy. He was my best friend at the time.
It'd be like that.
And I was like, I'm going to write a song about him. It was 7th grade. Literally, it was 7th grade.
It'd be like that?
And I was like, we're never going to talk again, and now we're still best friends. And I would never date him. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that, so yeah, that's where I started. I started my first EP. It was called To All the Boys I've Loved Before, based off the Netflix original movie. And each song was about a boy that I thought I was in love with at a point in my life, but also changed me as a person and made me become who I am today. And from then on, I met Ozone, and we kind of just shot from there. But my music origin, my mom was always singing in the church. And I grew up away from the church, but was still a very godly person. And over time, just started to hear music and love melodies. And I played tenor sax in 6th grade. So there's that, too. I wasn't good at it, though.
That's valid.
But I want to learn how to play the harmonica.
That'll be nice. On the next track, I better hear it,
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So, do you feel like your outside life has really influenced your music a lot, like, especially in that writing process?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how other artists do it. It's really hard for me to write a song off the top of my head without any prior content. I'm more of a, like, live life and then write. And most of the guys in the group just write about anything, so it's completely different for me, for sure.
So, like, how is that dynamic being the only woman in Ozone?
Nothing, really. I feel like I'm the middle child because they're, like, brothers, and they're all old, and then some are young, and some have girl problems, and some have life problems. But it just balances out. I don't feel like I'm the only girl in Ozone until people say it. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, dang, I'm the only girl in here. But when I'm with the guys, it's a good time. Movies, drink. I love to drink. I love a good drink, too. So we be having a good old time.
So what can we expect to see from you in the future?
Oh, my gosh. I hope touring. I'm really excited to tour.
Yes.
I want to open up for someone. I don't care who it is. But touring is something I'm really into because I've never got to travel. I went to Chicago last summer with Ozone. They took me there. It was super fucking fun. And I had such a good time.
But I wanted to see more of it, so I was like,
course.
oh, like, it was only 3 days, and that's my goal for this summer is to travel, to tour, and I'm coming out with an all-female album. So there's that too.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
forgot
just a
about
little
that.
bomb
just
on
had to throw it out
everyone.
there, because drop the single, trying to just keep it low key. But yeah, I'm dropping an album, all female features, all me, all everybody. So it should be a good time, and female producers as well. So I'm trying to incorporate everybody with it, because you don't see a lot.
All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
answering all of my questions. I love talking to you.
What's up, everybody? Real quick, shout out to Sout plushie that Talia made, Wildosity. You already know. Sout. So, today we're back with another episode of me and Jose segment. We don't really have a name for it yet, so put down in the comments what me and Jose should name our political segment. Let us know.
Let us know, baby. Thanks again, Cole, for having us back on here. It's always great to be on Free Game Fridays with the Souths. It wouldn't be right without them. And, yeah, we had an amazing lineup today, so I'm really glad to just, kind of wind it down for a minute, try to put some information to the folks. And
get engaged, man.
And get engaged. Speaking of engagement, last episode we really talked about the mayoral ballot, the election in general, and just what that meant to Minneapolis and Twin Cities. And we just kind of want to talk about why we're even in this lane, why we're talking about it, why it's important to not only us but to our community, and what exactly makes us credible with the work that we do. So I guess to start it off, Cole, I really wanted to just give off a nice background on what makes Cole and Jose credible to even be talking about mayoral ballot, or why should people even want to tune in? Politics in general. Why should people even want to tune in to what we're doing? Because I don't think people truly understand the gravity of just the youth leadership excellence that is in Bridgemakers and even within this little couch.
There's a lot of power on this couch right now, I'm telling you.
And that's not even including the Souths.
That's not even including them, bro. These guys really have the power.
That's a different level.
What makes me credible, right? So I actually helped to lead a campaign of young people that changed a law in Minnesota on the state level that allowed high school students to be eligible for and receive unemployment benefits during the pandemic, and also just in general. So now high school students are treated just like any other worker in the unemployment insurance system. And what does that actually mean? What that actually looked like was $70 million worth of benefits being opened up to students during the pandemic. These were people that were struggling, people who were just really having a hard time in the pandemic, as we all know, putting food on the fridge, just getting rent paid. So that put $70 million into the community.
And these high school students were strictly discriminated because of being high school students.
Just that. They could have worked as much as, Joe Schmo, who's like 40 and graduated a long time ago, was working. They could have had all the other criteria checked off, but if they were in high school, that was the only thing, or it was just a blanket prohibition.
So you're telling me if I was in high school but I dropped out, I would have been able to collect unemployment benefits?
That's the other thing, bro, is it actually incentivized students to drop out. And so obviously we saw that as being pretty dumb. And we got it changed. And what's really cool about that is, yeah, that's cool, that's dope, that makes me credible. But actually, not only did we change the law, we changed the law in the only divided legislature in the country. Not only to mention, it was a law that benefited mainly a group of people who aren't even legally eligible to vote. So when we're talking about real grassroots leadership, right, boots on the ground, that is boots on the ground, undeniable. Yeah, man, and when I say divided legislature, I mean that on the state level, the House and the Senate, not the federal government House and Senate, but the state, Minnesota House and Senate. The Senate is controlled by Republicans and the House is controlled by Democrats. So if anything is going to get through and pass into law, those two parties have to agree.
For example, I know a lot of people are Minnesota's super blue. How are we not for medical marijuana? How are we behind the curve on that? It's because, to be honest, this has been the Senate for years now, has just been blocking legislations like that not benefit, but are blue policies. So it's just the Senate kind of and the Democrats are doing the same thing to the Republicans. They're just blocking things.
Same thing with Republican-based policies. It's kind of like the environment we have right now in the federal government.
Absolutely. So how was your experience leading a campaign, and how long did that take? Like, what was the process, and how did it take a toll on you and your experience?
Yeah, most definitely, dude. So I mean, it's hard work, but it's actually really fulfilling work. So I got started because I was one of those young people. I've been working to pay bills and been working to support my family since I was at the age of 14, and so to get laid off because my employer literally went bankrupt and I didn't have a job anymore due to no fault of my own because of this pandemic, to actually apply for unemployment insurance and to receive the money on accident. That's the other thing. The government messed up because they gave me the money and I used it to pay bills and I used it to stay in my house so I didn't get kicked out and so I have food in the fridge. I got that letter that I was ineligible and that I needed to pay all that money back, and bro, that shit blew me. I was completely flabbergasted, if I may use that word. And so I was really just trying to find like a lawyer or something. I didn't really understand the system.
And I'm sorry to even cut you off, but you'd say the quote. This is my favorite quote, and I want you to say it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. So even worse than being broke, at that point, I was in debt. I was negative. I was at zero before, but they put me negative, which is you don't want to be in debt, especially not to the state.
Nah.
Yeah. So really, man, long story short, I got hooked up with Walter Cortina, the other co-founder of Bridgemakers. Lots of love for Walter. And a group of young people and leaders in the community of nonprofits, businesses, and just sort of activists in the community that wanted to help us young people. We kept telling our stories. You know, we said this is how it really is. I mean, we had young people who literally could not afford to get gas to be able to drive to go get medicine for their parents and shit like that. And when you're seeing this kind of thing happening, it's like if you want to get a law changed in government, you have to show them both sides, especially here in Minnesota. You have to show both sides that it makes no sense to not be on our side. There's no political gain you get from stopping kids from being able to receive life-saving benefits that could keep their family going. There's no benefit to that.
Yeah, there's really not, and it's kind of like trying to paint the image, like how Cole said it was like an uphill battle. Like, hey, we're young, we can't vote. Two, like, is a divided legislator. Like, how are you gonna try to tell a bunch of, just upper class folks that think they're really like on a different level to get along with the other side?
Yeah.
And like, so it's really just about painting the image. I remember when we had those coalition meetings and the conversation would be like, yeah, but we also got to mention like how we are going to be voters. We will be, we are still represented by these representatives
and senators. And here's the thing too. So I'll get a little bit into the climate of what this like. When you're doing politics, it's always in this country. You've got one opinion, you've got the other opinion, Republicans and Democrats. Usually, there's independents sometimes, but the parties that have power are Republicans and Democrats. And the way that this specific argument went was for Democrats, it was like, yo, this is like human rights. Like, people are really like not being able to put food in the fridge, losing their homes. We need to be able to get this money to families, and young people are oftentimes secondary or even primary breadwinners in their family. And then on the Republican side of things, this was the main argument. Unemployment insurance comes from businesses. When you tax, so every business gets taxed, and a piece of their revenue goes into the unemployment trust fund. And so whenever we have layoffs or something like the pandemic, people draw out of the unemployment trust fund. So the trust fund had been building up for years and years from taxes from businesses, and COVID came, and the trust fund went negative. People were taking a lot of benefits because a lot of people lost their jobs. Simple as that. So for the Republican side, what they were saying is, well, if we give these benefits to students, then we're going to have to raise taxes on businesses. And to raise taxes on businesses when businesses already got screwed during the pandemic is something that looks very bad for them. Now, here's the kicker, right? The businesses were already getting taxed. They were already getting taxed, and their tax that they were paying the unemployment system, the hours that young people were working that basically contributed to the trust fund was being distributed or subsidized to people who weren't in high school, basically. So basically they were stealing from the hours that had been taken from young people and just paying out to people who weren't in high school at the time. So it was broken completely.
So young people put in money to this safety net, wasn't able to
get out,
can't even use the safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, like it was really up and down, the whole situation. We thought it was gonna go through. We thought it wasn't. It was really like
Oh, man. Man.
it was tense
Very intense.
the whole time. So what was the experience like when after the whole campaign's over, you actually get the amazing news that starting 2022 that young people and high school students in particular will be able to collect unemployment benefits just like any other
Worker in
employee.
the state.
Yeah. How is that actually receiving that news, and who are a few people that really who were some key players in that?
Yeah. So the youth were the biggest player. I'm going to have to shout them out. The youth from the Twin Cities, the youth from the suburbs, the youth from greater Minnesota. If you want to get a law changed in this state, then you need people in greater Minnesota rocking with you and agreeing with you and reaching out to their elected officials the same way that they are in the Twin Cities and vice versa. Because the greater Minnesota is, outstandingly red, Twin Cities is outstandingly blue. So they had to agree. So the youth, they did this thing, man, 100%. And shout out to our mentors and community leaders, Marcus Pope and Woki Wea from Youth Prize, Matt Norris, who was the policy director at the time, who's now running for office, as well as people like Barty Wahi and Christy Snyder and David Snyder, a lot of amazing community mentors that came and showed support to help us with this. So, bro, I mean, that's why I am credible. And what I'm going to say to all of y'all is make sure to go to, it's a stupid link, but we'll put it right up here. You can also look up Who Represents Me, Minnesota, but go to gis.lcc.mn.gov. You can put your address in, and it will show you your elected official, your representative, your senator, and you can actually find their email and their number right there to hit them up. So that's how we did this, bro, was just connecting with our legislators. But, man, you are a serious political boss, too. You were the youngest elected official in St. Paul City Council. Tell the people about that.
Not elected. I wish it was elected.
Oh,
unfortunately,
but serving.
We'll have to wait for that. One point I want to mention before diving into that is that, like, elected officials are working for us. We pay their salary. They are supposed to represent our needs and wants. So remember that you're the boss. And speaking of my work on the city council, a great mentor of mine, Jane Prince, she represents Ward 7 of St. Paul. One of the first things that she's ever told me is, you're the boss. You got to tell these elected officials what you need, what you want, and it's their job to deliver. And every time election year comes around, that's when you apply that pressure.
We hold them accountable.
That's when you hold them accountable and hold their feet to the fire. You hold their feet to the fire every day, but especially on that election day, that's when, you either start firing people or you start hiring. So, 100% look into that link, see who even represents you, see what they're doing, see what the record is, see what they're even about, because you have the opportunity to change that or to
and call them too.
Hit them up. That's what their job. Their job is to connect with us.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I do. Outside of my work from the nonprofit sector with Bridgemakers, I am working on the city council for St. Paul. I am the youngest appointed official in the state of Minnesota for 2021. One super dope thing that I'm excited to hopefully bring upon the Free Game Friday episodes is that Brooklyn Park actually just expanded, I think, 4 to 8 seats on their city council committees for youth. So highlighting, uplifting youth, centering their voice, which is 100% necessary. And so the way I even got my opportunity with the city council to be an appointed official.
What committee are you on, by the way?
I serve on, and proudly serve on, the Reparations Legislative Advisory Committee, and really intensively working on just trying to create the infrastructure of what reparations looks like, trying to set up the commission, the permanent commission that will be formed, in ensuring that they have the resources and the things that they need to execute the needs and wants of St. Paul. So just getting into how I even got approached with the situation and the opportunity. It's funny because Cole was there. We were there. It was, working in the nonprofit sector. I believe the campaign was still going at this time, too. So we're always reaching out to elected officials. We're always reaching out to nonprofit leaders, always just reaching out to anybody that can and is supposed to listen to us. So Jane Prince was one of them, and she was in a meeting with Trey Hearn Cruz, who is now the convener of the Reparations Legislative Advisory Committee. And really, it was just talking about, realistically, we just met as Bridgemakers and this elected official with this movement starting, because they wanted to, at that time they were creating the Legislative Advisory Committee. They were trying to recruit and find the best fits for not only that, but for the entire movement that they're having in St. Paul. So we met with them trying to, kill two birds with one stone. They need youth. We want, elected officials to hear us out. So it was just all about connecting, and it was about building relationships. And Jane Prince mentioned to me that she thought it'd be amazing to have youth represented on the council. So she originally approached me to just reach out to all the young people that we're connected with. And after a few days, she reached out to me and let me know that, if I didn't apply, that I really should definitely consider it. Just because she was aware of just how deeply connected I am to St. Paul, how much I love and respect.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Just the entire heart and soul of St. Paul, which is the multicultural, multi-ethnic movement. And that is like the base of that has to be the black community. Like, we're built off the free labor of black folks. So this is like one of the first major steps that we have to take to right the wrongs of St. Paul and as a country. So I just got well connected with Jane Prince. She suggested it to me. And these opportunities don't come to you if you're not around in the room. You have to reach out to these people. You have to talk to these people.
Make your voice heard, man.
You got to hear.
Yell it out.
Absolutely. Because I think that the saying is like, closed mouths don't get fed. And it's like not a joke, especially in like the political arena. Closed mouths don't get fed. So,
and they've kept our voices out of the table for so long. It's
Absolutely.
like right now we need to be louder than ever.
Absolutely. And it's easy for youth because youth don't vote, but youth are still represented by these elected officials.
And let's not get it twisted either, though. Like in nationally for the 2020 elections, in that age range, 18 to 29, that was the highest turnout that it's ever been since the voting age was lowered to 18. It was 50%. And in Minnesota, it was 65%.
Yeah, Minnesota has a higher, it's a unique thing, but Minnesota's voting average is much higher than other states. So that's one thing about Minnesota is that we vote. But one thing about...
We got to vote more locally, though.
Vote more locally, absolutely. But one thing is that people of color need to vote more, and they need to insert themselves in those conversations. Because, yes, Minnesota has a lot of people that vote, but yes, Minnesota also has a lot of white people that vote. And too often that's when other voices and other aspects and experiences aren't considered. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what's up.
So I guess it's like, to finish this all up, yeah, we do this thing. Yeah, we're going to be talking about it. Like, what are a few things that, like, to get started, how can I get civically engaged? How can I just take a step forward into like the movement that we've been doing?
Yeah. So how to actually be civically engaged, right? That's the big question. So we just told you a little bit about it. We spat some free game at y'all about how we've made moves in the political world to represent people that look like us. The way that you can do it, research the actual problems. Go online, search up viewpoints that agree with yours, and also look at opposing viewpoints. I would not have been able to argue against people who didn't agree with me with the unemployment campaign if I didn't understand where they were coming from. So you have to know what the opposing viewpoints are, research. Obviously, you need to get out there and vote. Go ahead to the Secretary of State, Steve Simon's website, Minnesota, and you can actually register to vote on there for free. And the other thing to do, go hit up that link, man, gis.lcc.mn.gov, badoink. Or you can or you can look up Who Represents Me, Minnesota, and go and call them, bro. You need to call your legislators, text them, bug them. They work for you, and your taxes pays their salary.
You're the boss. We're the bosses. So without further ado, I think that's going to conclude our segment today. Like Cole mentioned, we definitely don't have a name yet, so I would love suggestions. And also, we would love suggestions for the next episodes. What are some things you guys want to talk about? What are some things that are going around in the community that you want us to break down? I know Cole and I have a million things to talk about, but really we want to talk about the things that the community are asking questions about.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Free Game Fridays, episode 2, man. Beautiful, beautiful show. We had Fake Trap. Go follow him on Instagram. Go to his website. And we had SumerTimeTV from Ozone here. Thank you all so much. Stay smooth.
Hear what I said, you need a